Hi, Fashion Dolls. Happy Saturday. It is simply Saturday, April 16th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is the up-and-coming king of R&B pop music. He is joining us today. He is a hot actor and model. Ladies and gentlemen, Norquon Morgan. Let me send him this invite. I hope you guys are all doing excellent. It has been raining all day today. What have you guys been up to? I'm doing excellent. A little groggy. I was a little tired at first, but I'm doing wonderful, and I hope you guys are as well also. So let me go ahead and send these invites out, get people in this room, get us in here. This is the interview you guys have been waiting for, Fashion Dolls. I'm super excited about our very special guest today. Oh my goodness, I hope you all are doing wonderful. Hi, Rodney. Hold on, Rodney, I gotta see if my glam is working for you today. We definitely gotta see if that is working for you. I hope you guys can see me. Can y'all hear me? Let me send this invite out to our very special guest today. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys loving the glam? Are you guys loving the glam? Get into it. Get into that glow, honey. And I'm loving this new hair color. I wanted to do something different for you guys. You guys know I'm a chameleon. I don't stay the same. I'm always changing. And be on the lookout for the looks of the week. I will have 5 looks for you guys, so make sure you guys go and vote for that. And ladies and gentlemen, the king of R&B himself, the fresh new face, Norquon Morgan is here. Let's get into this interview. Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. All right, Fashion Dolls, he is here, the man of the hour, the man that you guys have been waiting for, Norquon Morgan. So before we get into this interview and kick it off, how has 2022 been for you thus far? Because I know for you as an actor and as a performer, there's been so much going on with this pandemic, with, you know, shutdowns, so many things. How have you been managing with that thus far?
Um, 2020, as far as 2022 has really um been more of a come up um through the experience of 2021 and 2020. So everything that's been going on in the past has really brought 2022 a different experience, an eye opener, and a different way that I see things, because 2022, I already mentally in my head, I said I'm gonna take off. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff to do, and I've been sitting at home waiting on to do this. So it's definitely been an experience. And also like now I'm at the gym. My father owns the gym, and I work here. I do my personal training and stuff. And yeah, so bringing it all back up is definitely a job itself.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's all about that balance. And you've mentioned your father. How's it been balancing with family? I know it's been difficult for you because you've shot some projects, which we'll get into throughout this interview. But
Yeah.
how's it been being away from your family? Like, do you ever get that loneliness or anxiety? Because I know for me, sometimes for me doing this platform right here, I can't be able to go out. Me and my cousin will be first to hit the outlets and go shopping and things like that. But thank God for the power of technology where we're able to keep in touch with each other,
Yeah.
and make sure that each other is okay. So how have you been managing with that?
Um, well, me and my dad, we're pretty close. So he's the one of the main ones I see. I do get to see him very often. We was even through the pandemic, I had to be with him through continuing on how we're going to continue to get this to grow through the pandemic, with the pandemic, basically working as a team to keep everything afloat. Gyms were shut down. We was the last ones to reopen. And that is, to me, is essential compared to a lot of things that, they kept open that I didn't see too much of essential. Not much as, health.
Yes, definitely. We've had to close down due to precautions. I know I have family in New York, and New York reopening,
Yeah.
Broadway theater, all these different things. Shout outs to my girl 3 times T. Make sure y'all please go and check out her platform, subscribe. I see some people coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Dollhouse. We are here with the up and coming king of R&B, actor and model himself, Norquon Morgan. I gave him that title first. So, all right. We'll talk about your
Yeah.
hit single, Put It On Me, which is out right now, which is also doing hot, and your projects, which is also doing hot as well, too. So, where did you get this inspiration and this passion for acting? Like, where did you grow up? And did you know that this was always something that you wanted to do?
Uh, yeah. Far as well, I'm gonna start on the acting. How I kind of got into it. I kind of view the world differently. Like a lot of people when they watch movies, they kind of watch it as just entertainment. And how I always been was like I looked at it, but I always knew there was more. Like, okay, we were watching it, but where did they come up with this idea? Where did this creativity come from? Because everybody that's behind the camera really created the movie, the scene. It's not just who's in it. They call them up to be the actor in it, but the creativity of the thought of how it came upon is the most interesting part. So like I used to watch it a lot, but I used to watch the facial expressions, how they said it, how they felt, and I could kind of foreshadow that very, very well. And then I could foreshadow even more once I read the script. Now that I act, so by me reading the script and learning that character, it's like I could really act that person out, that character. And when I was younger, I used to do that. Like you would watch a movie, and then I run after the movie is over, and I'm a kid. I run in the living room and go acting it out, the fighting part, fighting scene. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it'd be super super close. So yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
how it became from portraying other actors.
Just in that experience from watching as well, so you can see children pick up things that they watch on television, and
Yeah.
kids learn. We learn at a very, very young age, hands on, how to do things. I know I love to do hair. I
Hmm.
also do hair as well too, and I've learned watching through my grandmother and the women in my family just do their hair in the morning, whether it's to go to church, to go to work, and get up and or go to school or whatever it may have you. And that's how I've kind of learned and taught myself as well too. And I
Yeah.
also went to beauty school. So, children learn at a very young age. And my next question for you is, who are some of your favorite actors? And if you could work with any, who would be your top three?
Um, Denzel, that guy. I
Mm.
mean, him as an actor is mind blowing. Um, But on top of that, he's a smart guy. Period. He's very very. The guy has a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. I know it's so much that I could learn from him, and I like working with people that I could really learn from. You know, and the crazy thing is, the second one would be Will Smith after his little stuff that he's got going on. That like was one of my favorites. But it's crazy how that happened, and he gave him that word of acknowledgement that when you get to the top, the devil comes for you,
Oh
as
yeah.
that was spoken. So yeah, that means just those two together. He already know Denzel know how good Will is, and so I think I think he would give anybody his word of wisdom, but he knows Will and what he's been through too. So yeah, those two. Third, mm, that's tough. I got a lot of actors that I really really like a lot. Um, Another one would probably be Scott Atkins. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a former martial artist. He plays in like a lot of fighting roles and stuff. And I also teach martial arts, so that's why he would be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great choices. Great choices. These are power names that you just named.
Yeah.
And speaking of power names, you're not only a fitness expert, actor, but you also have done some modeling as well too. From even the flyer that I created, some of the shots that you did walking down the
Mhm.
catwalk. How do you balance the conflict? Because when you're modeling, I think it was Naomi Campbell. She said something. When you're modeling on the catwalk, it is a form of acting because you're showing expression. You're selling the garments. You're selling the clothes.
Yeah.
So when you're in your element on that catwalk, what's running through your mind? You see all the cameras popping out, photographers taking pictures and things. and I already know, I kind of know what goes on backstage at the fashion shows. There's a lot of ripping and tearing of clothes,
Hmm.
and rushing to get on stage when the coordinator calls you out. So, what is that experience like when you're walking on that catwalk?
Um, Basically, these people came here to really see a show. So in my mind, no matter what you're going through, you have to put on this show. You know what I mean? And the clothes that I put on kind of speak through me too. Like how you feel. Like if you put on something, you ever seen when a girl say, "I feel cute today"? They show that off. And however the clothes make you feel is kind of how I express them too. And then another thing is when I'm walking, I'm kind of like, they don't know who I am. Let me show them. Let me give them who I am. You know what I mean? So yeah, when I walk, it's kind of like, show that off. Get them a show. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I kind of try to show the expression of the clothes, what I put on, what it would look good for, those facial expressions. If I'm wearing a summer outfit or something like that, I would get the expression of that me being on the beach, or how I would feel, the facial expressions that I would see. Yeah.
And I said this on my show a few days back, because you guys know, if some of y'all have been viewing my stories, y'all know I'm a big fashion girl. If you follow my page here, you know I'm posting nothing but fashion,
Yeah.
from different eras, different decades, and always posting some sort of beauty inspiration, whether it's hair or makeup or whatever. Fashion is about attitude. And the late Alexander McQueen, I hate that I'm saying that. We lost so many fashion pioneers. Just too long ago, we lost Terry Blair, who was also another one of my favorite fashion designers. But Alexander McQueen says this: art is to evoke emotion. So if my fashion, my dressing has you feeling some type of way, I've done my job correctly. And that
Hmm.
comes from Alexander. So God rest his soul. Fashion is about attitude. It's about Adam. It's about freedom of expression. Not just through speaking, but the clothes do the talking. It lets
Yeah.
you know what type of person you are. If you like bright colors, if you're a happy person, and I know for me the shirt, I can't know if you guys can see it in my hair, but I love bright colors, and I love to pop and stand out when I walk into the room. Like right now, it's raining down here, and I said, you know what, bright colors enhance your mood, because I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little groggy, a little tired when I got up, so I said, you know what, colors really work. And studies have proven that. So fashion is all about attitude and having that confidence, just that, not trying to say, oh, well, I'm better than the next person or the next person, but just trying to make people be like, oh, where did you get that outfit from? I want to wear something like that.
Hmm.
Trying to grab someone's attention. That's what that is. And, walking on the catwalk or just walking through Whole Foods or wherever it is, life is a catwalk for you. So have.
Yeah, color does change emotion. It does. It does.
Yes, and we need it in such dark times right now. Like through this pandemic, I know everybody's like, oh, we're so sick and tired of being in the house, but make the best of it. Make your own little personal fashion show. I mean, I went through my closet and I had pieces I didn't even realize I had. So I'm just like, wow, you're going to shop for this and you've already got this in your closet. So yeah, make the best of it. So
Yeah.
speaking of, you know, this pandemic, you put out a hit single. Put it on. We're going to talk about it. All right, the song is self-explanatory. So, what was the recording process like for you?
Um. Well, when I first, basically, usually I always go off a beat. I had a buddy of mine send me the track, and I heard it and I'm like, this sounds really good. Now, when I make my music, I go based on what do I hear in this song. And whatever I write and that's in my mind is me already because I created it. Just my thought process and everything like that kind of goes into the beat itself. Um, and then I do record, and I am in NC right now, and I record at a studio called Legion of Music. The quality, I love it. I love the quality. But yeah, he worked with me with it. He was like, "This is definitely a hit. This has got to get out. This has got to be heard. You did such a wonderful job on this, man." He was like, because every time I make a song, I get a step more and more better. I get better each time. So Yeah, Put It On Me was definitely one of them that I got to express a sexual side without being too vulgar. You know what I mean? Without being too, you know what I mean? Because I like to keep it, I like to keep it civilized. I don't really like to do too much. You know, yeah.
Did Dad hear the single? Did the parents hear the single? And what was their initial thoughts?
Uh, my mom, she loves it. She loves it.
Wow.
She
Okay.
loves it. Yeah, my mom, she loves it. I mean, she loves music in general. And that's where I feel like I really pulled it out. And then my father, he's from Jersey, Newark. Um, he's from Newark, New Jersey, and he used to be a DJ back in the day, which I learned later on in life. Ain't nobody want to tell me. I had to have one of my uncles come out and be like, "Yo, you know your dad used to DJ, don't you?" I'm like, "No." He used to scratch? Like what? You know, that was funny to me. But I was like, well, it's kind of adding up on why I love, some of the stuff that I do, and you can really pick up traits from your past, your people. Yeah, and I did not know it would be like that.
Yeah, you never know what your parents' history or background is. They'll never tell you, but you always have that one sibling that's gonna go back and tell you, like, you didn't know your dad used to do this or your mom
Mm-hmm.
used to do this. So
It was
yeah,
around
I get
family
it.
reunion time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of, and the single is out on all streaming platforms. So if you guys have not heard it, please go and check it out, download it, stream it, support it. And my question for you was still in the category of music is,
Mm-hmm.
where do you get your writing inspiration from? What's running through your mind when you're writing or sitting in that studio? And what type of element do you like? Like I know most singers, especially soul singers, neo soul singers, they
Mm-hmm.
love a certain element. And I'm gonna bring up Erica Badu. I always mention her. Um, when she's writing, when she's in her element, she loves candles, incense. And I think it was Miley Cyrus also that kind of said something to the same extent before they go out on stage or they're backstage pinning their hits or whatever it may be. They like an element. They don't, some people don't like a whole lot of people in the studio with them while they're recording. So
Right.
what type of element do you like when you're writing your music, and where do you get the thought and inspiration for some of your singing?
I feel like I make the best music when I'm alone. When you're alone, you really get to focus in your inner self. Like you get to channel your inner thoughts deeply because you have no distractions, no other energies. Because I mean, energies don't have to be, you can't. It's not something that you really see. It's something that you feel. And when you have
Yeah.
other energies, it could throw you out of your own element. So just like recording, when you're recording and you're pushing and you got this feel, it's just knowing sometimes that someone's there. It could also throw you off too. You want to do certain notes, and I don't know. I feel like it could be. I feel like it kind of come to like judgmental. Like, what if I don't hit this right and they standing right there? What if you don't know? Everybody got their own little, insecurity in something, and it's really not insecurity. We are our own critic, our most critic.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it depends on building a relationship with somebody. Like when you build a relationship with the engineer, you give off more energy in the studio. Y'all friendship is there. So it's like he understands you, he knows you, he knows what to do and not to do, what makes you feel better. Like after you just got finished recording the line, you step out, you want to hear, you like, hey man, you want some water? Because he know how I operate. And you need that. And usually I don't really like anybody in the studio. It's nothing personal. It's just that I feel like I could focus more better. When it's nobody there, me and the engineer, we're working. And if anybody's there, it's kind of like, and then I'm a type of person where I'm like, you good, you need something, and I'm the one recording. You know what I mean? It's just the way I am. But, and as far as artists, music artists, my number one has always been Usher. I mean the notes, the runs. I mean he goes up and down the key. Love it. Um, Second is definitely August Alsina. That was one of my man. You know what I mean? Like you feel his music. You can feel where he come from. you know. So I really like that, and he's strong, battling with, you know, his situations and stuff like that. But he's an amazing artist, and I could tell he loves what he does,
Oh
especially
yeah.
starting from so long. So that's definitely something that I love, and he has that ear that I have. Like when I hear certain things, it gives you this feeling, this vibe, and you want to show it off. It's him doing it, but he's showing off his vibe. He's giving off his vibe through the speakers into the listener, you know. And
Absolutely. And you've mentioned another artist that I can think about that also loves sounds as well too. She said when she was on the road touring, it's Coco from SWB.
hmm
And she said that when she called home for her from one of her children, her son, she would actually mimic the sounds of cartoons and things. So
hmm
artists actually get musical thoughts from just hearing sounds, and they develop, and they're just like, okay, I need to write this down in this moment. Has it ever dawned on you or happened to you when you see something and it's just like, okay, I got to write about this?
Yes, a lot. Everywhere that I'm at. I'm at home in the living room. And then I'm the type of person, I'm still getting over this little cold I had. Yeah, but yeah, so if I'm in the kitchen, I mean I love to freestyle. So that's where a lot of my stuff comes from. Like I might see something, give me an idea, and I freestyle. Because I actually started off rapping a long time ago. I used to freestyle as a kid. How singing, yeah, I didn't know how to sing at all back then. I taught myself how to sing. Never had vocal coaches, anything like that. Not saying that I won't ever get one. You know, it's always good to have somebody there to help you exercise. You know, it's another ear for creativity in you too.
Mm,
So yeah, your settings around you can definitely help you for songwriting. Um, sometimes a quote, sometimes a lot of quotes and things like you like, oh, that's dope, and I feel that, and I feel like everyone should hear that. You know,
mm,
so creativity comes from everywhere and different people and environments.
absolutely, 100%. And
Yeah.
speaking of the field, we're going to transition into acting here because you have some credits and you worked alongside one of my faves and previous guests that I've had on the show, Nelson J. Davis. So we're going to get into that. Let's go down the list because, like I said, you have some amazing acting credits, and all of these films you guys can find on Tubi TV. You guys can go and stream them. We have Deadly Passion, Halloween Kickback, which is a comedy. It's an amazing comedy. And we also have The Legend Begins, Dollface. So, out of all of your films that you've worked on, which project holds a very special place to you?
It probably would be Deadly Passion, and I got my others too, like um, Deadly Passion is definitely number one. I'm a little foggy headed. So okay, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm foggy headed. So I'm on contest prep, and I do got a bodybuilding show coming up next weekend. Natural bodybuilding show, no enhancements, no anything like that. It's pure bodybuilding. But yeah, so I get a little foggy. But yes, Deadly Passion is my number one,
Okay,
and
okay.
and to tell you why, Deadly Passion was one of my first films. It was one of
Wow.
yeah, it was one of my first films, and the experience from it, like we had Jamal Woolard, you know, from everybody know him from Notorious B.I.G., known
Mhm.
as Gravy, you know, and that dude is mad humble, and I learned so much from him, you know. Like I already knew a little bit about acting because I went to Actors Training Ground in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I learned a lot. But watching him act showed me the natural ability of acting, also how to be natural but a whole nother character. It was ridiculous, and I picked up on it, and that got me through everything.
Organic and naturally. And what is some advice that Jamal and Nelson giving you along the way?
For one, never give up. No matter
Mm.
how good you do, you're gonna always learn. No matter how old you get, you gonna always learn. And that's why sometimes I feel like people sometimes fail to realize that no matter how old you are, you're always gonna learn. You're gonna learn from a young person. So you can't put no hope on that, you know. Um, but yeah, so Jamal gave me a lot of input on the reality of acting. And you know, like what you may run into, the ups and downs of it. It wasn't really like a lot of downs and nothing like that. It's just the industry itself sometimes could be a little rough. You know, it's a lot to come along with it. But long as you stay to yourself was the number one thing. Stay to yourself. Don't be doing don't do all this extra crazy stuff. Yeah, definitely mad humble. Um, what I learned from Nelson is the hustle in it. That dude is a hustling guy. He works. You know what I mean? Like this dude works, and like it's just it's crazy. But I love it though. It's like when we shot Halloween Kickback, the way he was putting everything together, rolling, hustling. Time was never on his side, but he made it on his side. He made it on his side. You know.
And not only that, but when I sat down and I did my interview with him, I said, "How do you do it? You produce, you direct, you do all of these things
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes. Like, how do you find that balance?" And he just was dropping projects and dropping projects. The Lady's Choice and the Halloween Kickback and Treat and so many others of his projects. He just kept dropping them, and he's just like the grind never stops. So
Yeah.
yeah, you are 100% right about that.
Yeah, and I see it every time. You know, every time we shooting together, um, I never see stress on his face. You know, like what's up, man, whatever. But I never see stress or lack of anything in him, and he has all that going on too. So yeah, I really there's definitely a big ups to him, man. Um, he's great.
Could you see yourself producing and directing in the near future?
Um, not technically. I mean, I love all of it. I definitely would. But full time, career wise, I don't think so. Probably maybe time wise, but if I ever got down to it, I probably would. I probably would. Life just transitions so weirdly. Whatever is kind of meant for me to do, I will do. You know, like I love directing because I've seen it so many times that I'm willing to help out other people also. So if they needed me, like, hey, I need somebody to help me help direct this, or I need somebody to help me finish writing this, I will. I will definitely put my creativity into it and get that feel of what I feel like other people want to see in the movie. You know, definitely.
Okay. So we're going to get into a little bit deeper here, Fashion Dolls. It is time for our games with Norquon. And the first one is going to be called the Rapid Five. Norquon has to give us five things he can't live without. And then we're going to do something called his thoughts. I'm going to drop the name of a few of his famous colleagues, and you give me one word to describe that famous actor that is a colleague of yours. All right?
Okay.
So we're going to start off with the rapid five. What are five things that Norquon can't live
Um, my God, my highest power.
without?
I cannot live without him. Wouldn't be here without him. Um, my son. I have a son. He's 6 years old. Amari.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, being myself is one thing that I can't live without. I mean, I would hate to live life if I could not be myself. Um, five. How many? I give you three. All right. Let's see. My mother and my father. I won't want to live without them, even though the day shall come. But it's something that I could not live without. Yeah, they always got my back. Always there for me. Definitely thick, thin, whatever it is. No matter how bad my life gets, I know who I could go to. Problems, experience, everything. That would definitely be my 5.
All right, fashion goals. That's that. There you have it. And I'm to circle back to the last thing you said. Family is definitely an important virtue and factor, and having that solid support circle around you. So it's
Yeah.
good to know that I talk a lot about that on my platform as well. So family's definitely key as well. And we're going to go to his thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys ready, fashion dolls? I'm going to drop a name, one of his famous colleagues, and you give me a potential famous colleague, and you give me one word to describe it. We're going to start off with Jamal Woodard.
Humble.
Okay. Nelson.
Creative.
All right. All right. All right. The next actor that we're going to name, potential. I said potential as well, too. So let's go with, I'm going to get a little controversial here because I know people have been like, wow, you haven't you mentioned him? Lakeith Stanfield.
One word. Smart.
Okay. All right. For the ladies' side, we got to give the ladies some credit. So we got to represent for us.
Oh
So
yeah.
don't worry, ladies. I got us. On the ladies' side, I'm going to name Kerry Washington.
Advice. I would say that. Great at giving advice.
All right. We're going to get a little savage here. Angela Bassett.
That's deep. That's rough. You got me. Magnificent.
Okay.
She is.
Last but certainly not least, Norquon.
Ooh, that's tough. Myself. Different. Very different.
Okay.
That would be my word. Different.
And it's more and more and more to come in the future. Fashion dolls. That is his thoughts. And we mixed it up a little bit for this category. I wanted to know actors. It's a show that the Hollywood Reporter does. And I was watching Regina King and Aunjanue Ellis. She did the King Richards film alongside Will Smith. And both of these ladies were sitting and conversing and having a conversation on throughout each other's career and just giving each other's flowers. So that's kind of like what his thoughts is. And if for my ladies that are actresses that come on this platform, I do her thoughts. So it's interesting to know other actors' perspectives on other actors and just giving each other flowers and celebrating each other. And that's what a lot of actors are starting to do in this industry. Like you mentioned, Denzel Washington and Will Smith. My favorite moment that night was just going to see Denzel and Bradley Cooper and all the other actors go over there and console Will. That was a beautiful moment. So
Yeah.
we need to see more of that. Just actors giving each other their flowers because you never know. We lost so many this year to name. I can't even name them all from the top of my head, but we lost so many
My man,
actors.
Payne.
Yes. Sidney Poitier, Betty White. That's, the big names that I can think of, when it comes to acting and comedy and just being in that moment when it comes to acting. It's, give people their flowers while they're there. So that's why we do the his thoughts section.
Agree.
All right, fashion dolls. And you just mentioned a few minutes ago in the interview that you have a competition coming up. Are you nervous? Are you excited? What's running through your mind?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into that. All right, so before I kind of put my thoughts on, how I feel, because it ain't nothing to talk about. But so in 2018, this is how everything began. This is how everything got to where it is now. So 2018, I was working, 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with 9 to 5. It's a choice.
At all.
It's a choice. It's whatever you want to do. Um, I was overweight. Not really like super, super overweight, but I wasn't happy with myself. And at that point, that was my level where I was at not being happy with myself. Because I knew I could do better, you know. So 2018, I was like 255, but it ain't look good to me, Like I didn't want that 255, I knew I could be a better me. I knew there was a better version, and so I was working, and one guy was like, "Hey, you wanna go work out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I go." We didn't really know what we was doing. I ain't nothing about fitness then. So I went to my father's house, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, man, we started working out." I already knew he was into fitness, so I was like, "Okay, I'll tell him about it." It's like, "Yeah, me and this guy, we worked out." He looked at me, he was like, "Man, stop working out with them cats, man. Come work out with me." So when I started working out with him, he really, really taught me how to train properly, perfectly. He had already been training people for over 20 some years, so his experience was there. Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. And I started learning the correct form, how many reps you're supposed to do, how many sets, how intense should your workout be. And within that first year, um, the year after, 2020, I did my first bodybuilding show. And I came first place, you know, and that was enough for me to get my career started, far as fitness wise. And I ended up getting certified in ISSA, personal training. Started with that, and then other opportunities opened, not knowing that by me getting into the tip-top shape that I could be in would open up opportunities, which did. That's where the photo shoots came in. People was like, "Hey, I want you to do that. I just want to test you out with the camera and everything and see." And the pictures came out amazing, So after that, I'm like, I love this. I already love the acting, So started doing that, and then it was a way to, as far as my music, R&B, soul, it's a good way to promote that also.
Oh yeah.
And then movies, you could play different roles if you gotta gain pounds. Is easily for me to do because I'm experienced with it. To lose quickly, easy. What I'm saying, to be in tip top shape, and that's where I usually stay. I stay at a good percent body fat, so I could kind of play with numbers depending on what they need from me as an actor. But yeah, so that's where it kind of all became. Everything opened up when I started training and working out. Yeah, so
And I love what you just said. I didn't like myself. I didn't, and as people, we always find something that we don't like about ourselves. And I'm not saying we have to go and search. If you want to do surgery, that's your choice. But
right,
if you don't like something about yourself, it's up to you if you want to change it. It's up to you if you want to be healthy and live healthy and move around. It's up to you, and even for me, and I'm gonna bring hair into this because everybody knows I'm a hair and beauty type of girl. If you don't like something, and I was telling my mom this as well too, because she has short hair, she's natural.
mm-hmm.
If you don't like something, you can always go and add on. If you don't like something, you can go and remove it and take it off. And for me, I love to experiment with lots of color. I love to do different things like that as well too. Different hair textures, different, volumes of light or whatever it is, whatever it may be, whatever works for you, change it and have fun with it. Don't make a permanent, drastic decision yet if this is not what you really want to do. Take your time and ease into it. So I love the fact that you said that, I didn't like myself, but I wanted to change myself for the
Right,
better. And we as people, we all have to realize that, we have to, at some point in time in our life, we have to hold ourselves accountable. And even for me, and it sounds crazy to a lot of us, there's nothing wrong with sitting down and having a conversation and looking at them, you're like, okay, this could have been a little bit better.
mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like morning affirmations for me. On one of my guests, I know she previously said that, I look in that mirror and I talk to myself and I say, girl, you could have did better. Shout outs to Ro Underwood. It was her. She said that. And she said, I look in that mirror And there are just some things like, girl, you got this. When she was going for her acting roles, because she, landed a role on 50 Cent's, what is it? Raising K9. She was also on Raising K9. And she said, you know what? When I was going in for these auditions and these roles, I look in the mirror and I point out things, I could work on, I can improve on. We're our own worst critics. And
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, a lot of people might get upset at this next thing I'm about to say, but half of my interviews, sometimes I don't even go back and watch them. It's for you guys to enjoy and love. Because I know for me, I'm going to be picking out like, the question that could have been better. You could have done this a little bit better. You could have operated. I'm going to always find something to pick myself apart about. Even
Yeah.
when people, what they say is, you're doing amazing. Your question is amazing. You're doing great. I will always go back and try to be the negative Nancy and point out something negative about one interview that I could have done better when it actually didn't need to be changed. It's just fine the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with it 100%. It's kind of crazy how that happens. You're the only one that probably is going to see that problem. Nobody else even thought twice about it. Yeah.
At all. We're our own worst critic. And I advise people to get out of that. Get out of that of stop putting yourself down when you know that you've done an amazing job. Even for acting roles, for a lot of actors, shout outs to my girl Angela. Hi Angela. Happy Saturday. We're here with the up and coming King of R&B himself, Norquon Morgan. And we're just talking about being your own worst critic. And before we conclude this interview, I want all of you to join in this conversation because we'll sometimes, even when it comes to career moves, we'll be like, okay, it's just like taking a test. When we were in school and we would take tests, and our teachers be like, okay, go with that first answer. Now go with that answer. Don't go back and change it because you're not so sure of yourself. If
Right.
this is something that you really, really want to do, you make sure you go with that first answer and follow that gut instinct. If your gut is telling you, okay, this is what it is, go with that. And even for career opportunities, just a few weeks ago, weeks back, we did something called, out of fear, working or doing things out of fear. And I know for me, I've had to do a lot of career moves, and a lot of people that are in this business have had to do a lot of career moves out of fear, you know, and I've had to change things, my delivery on things, because I started off very young. I'm 28 years old, y'all. Yes, y'all would not believe it. I know I don't look it, but black don't crack. Thank God for that, and thank God for a good makeup artist. Thank you, Mel. But listen, I've had to go back and look at things that I've done when I first started because I started off 20 at 19, 20 years old. I started my teen years. And to now see the light different at 28 years old is a completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever you've done previously in your career, it's up to you if you want to change it or continuing to do the same thing. And I know for me, I realized that I've had to change things about myself in order to succeed and keep going and in order to keep growing and nourishing. Janet Jackson said this. Um, I love quotes also, Norquon. Janet Jackson said
Mm-hmm.
this at the end of her Velvet Rope album. She said, we have to learn to water our spiritual garden. So whatever you're planting in that spiritual garden, whatever nourishments that you're putting out there, because what do? We plant that soil. This is what you want. If you want to put love into this garden, if you want to put self-confidence into this garden, this is something that I want to continue to work on, or something that I want my flowers and my plants to grow in this garden. I'm in my 50s. Yes, black don't crack. Black don't crack. 28. Look at you. Keep going, dear. Yes. And I know everyone says, well, you got a lot of strength at 28, Even for me, I have to take my time and step back and be like, okay, reevaluate. And there's nothing wrong with sitting and being in that moment or in that light. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, this is what I want to improve on. This is what I think I could have done better. This is what, God has in store for me. And I'm a firm believer in manifestation. So whatever you put out there in that universe is going to come to full circle. So I'm going to stop preaching and get off of my soapbox, but that ties up to that when it comes to, us reevaluating ourselves and putting ourselves down and being our own worst critic. Because I know a lot of people in this business, actors, singers, songwriters. Like, yeah, I could have did this a little bit better, or yeah, it could have been a little bit better. But it's just like, stop. Everything is fine. You did amazing, and keep reassuring yourself that. Stop beating yourself up if you thought you did terrible. No, you did amazing. So that's something that I've learned to work on throughout the years. But the interviews are for you guys to watch. Sometimes I'll go back and watch and make sure everything is clear, like it's running smoothly. But other than that, I've learned to stop watching it, to stop critiquing myself for the worst when I'm done.
That's deep. Through everything that you said, it was little pieces that just grasped me every time you said it. And I'm going to tell you what that was. Okay. So you said fear. That hit me. All right. You said you're big on laws of attraction. That hit me. So this is what everybody needs to take home also and really think about. Now, I'm big on laws of attraction. Everything that I have right now is through laws of attraction. Where I'm at right now is through laws of attraction and patience, because I got the most out of things when I was patient. When I rushed to get things, I got nicks and crannies and whatever because it wasn't meant for me to have. I tried to go rush something that wasn't for me or wasn't created for me yet. But when I sat and I just did my part low key in the back, that's when I got everything that I was supposed to have. And it was bigger than ever. So fear, laws of attraction. Fear is, a killer. It is. It could be very, very devastating. Now, whatever you fear means you believe it. Because if you didn't believe it, you wouldn't fear it. Just like if something was about to happen, you really think that it is about to happen. Something bad is about to happen. I fear it, and you attract it. And that's real because whatever you believe, oh, I don't have this. Oh, I'm not gonna have this. My rent is due. How I'm gonna be able to pay it, and you're actually attracting that to you to the point where your God or whoever has to pick you up at the end because you feared the whole entire time. He saved you at the end. You ever been through something and you didn't know how you was gonna get out of it, but it always it always came to pass. It was never nothing to really worry about nor fear about. But somehow we always continue to fear again and again after the next thing, after the next thing. It's because it's what we believe. Like when something pop up, you think the worst out of everything instead of I'm gonna be all right no matter what. I'm good. I'm here. I'm breathing. Some things you should just take with a grain of salt and just keep on rolling. You gotta show that gratitude of what you do have and just be happy that it has fallen into your hands that you have what you have. But yeah, you can attract things that you don't want. So you have to really, really pay attention to what you say, what you hear, what you believe sometimes, because it's not really real.
Absolutely, 100%. And I hope people are taking notes from this interview because, we're back. Things are starting to open back up. People are starting to want to make career moves. Mm-hmm. And my thing is this, don't be afraid. Whatever it is, go for it. Go for it. Whatever your goal, your passion, your dream, whatever you're envisioning, work on it. Plan ahead. And me, I do vision boards. So if it's something that you've seen, and almost everything on my vision board I'm almost completed with, but they're just like things, there's little obstacles here and there in the way that I could work on that could get better. And I just, look at that board and it reminds me, okay, this is what you kind of need to do. So remember that. All right, Fashion Dolls, do we have any last questions for Norquon or myself before we conclude this interview? And I'm going to close it out, let Norquon close it out. Let everyone know if you have any up and coming projects coming up where they can follow you. But before we do that, my last question for you is, what advice would you give to the next coming generation that's following your footsteps, that want to become a model, that want to become an actor, that want to become a singer, songwriter? What piece of advice would you give to them?
Do what you love to do, because whatever you love to do, if you really love it, your love for it will show through it. Never give up. even when it feel like you're, you know, it's too hard, no, you could be right there at that peak. Don't give up. If you love it, go all the way. There is never a plan B if you have a plan A, because that means you're automatically looking for another way out. Don't ever give up on it. Stick to that plan A and ride it out no matter what. And you might get let down a lot of times, but sometimes it's just that door wasn't meant for you to walk through. This door was meant for you to walk through, but you need to keep holding on. A lot of people give up right before when it's about to stop. You know, if you love it, take interest in it. And another thing is, if you love something, you have to feed it. Whatever it is, you have to take time to really practice it. Become the best you can be in it. Don't just say I want to do it and go do it. And it's like, did you practice? Did you, really practice whatever craft that you want to become? Become the best at it. There's no limitations. You could be anything you want to be. Sky's the limit, but then again, you still have the universe, so go for it. Still got the galaxy, go for it.
Absolutely. And I'm going to read one last comment. Shout out to K Will. She said, God will allow you to go through a season sometimes in order to apply pressure and help you grow. You may not understand it, but then God knows what he's doing. He's molding you into the best version. Absolutely, girl. Yes.
I love that. That's gonna stick.
Yes. And you just said it. What God puts out there for you is for you. So please don't, take that blessing. Don't let that blessing be for granted. Take that blessing. Whatever blessing that God gives you, please, please take advantage of that. We have a question from Liz. What has been your best season to date?
What has been what?
Your best season to date.
My best season?
Yeah, like your career wise. What has been your best season career wise?
Best season. Between like my music, acting, and things that way. I would say definitely my acting has been one of my best seasons. The people, the experience, the people I get to meet, man, I love it. There's no bad people until shown otherwise, and that's how I feel at heart. My fitness journey has been really good. Just like I know I got a lot of photo shoots and stuff going on. Modeling has picked up for me ridiculously, through my other things. Like a lot of people picked up on me through modeling, through my acting, one leads to another. I love them all, but definitely my fitness. Like I said, I got a bodybuilding show coming up, but I give myself short-term goals. So I will always be on top of it. I never go in reverse. I never fall off. So you got to give yourself short-term goals, but definitely acting has brought other things upon me as an opportunity.
All right, Fashion Dolls, any last questions before we conclude this great conversation? And I hope you guys are taking some nuggets from both Norquon and myself from this interview. Again, never let fear stop you from doing what you want to do in your life. And me, I'm the type of person I love to live life through fire. There's a passion or a fire that is burning inside of you. Go after it, achieve it. YOLO. My theory is YOLO. You only live once. So go for it. Like Norquon mentioned, short-term goals. Make a list. If this is something that you want to do, you put that list together. You list out the things. So we have another question. What would be the one thing that would make you reconsider your artistry?
I don't think there really is anything that make me reconsider. I done came so far, I couldn't even turn around and look back. And I feel like my experience of where everything has gotten me to the point where there's no way that I would reconstruct it at all.
Come too far to quit now.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Any other questions? Fashion dolls, I see so many of you guys mixing and mingling in the comments. Be sure to follow one another. We do networking channel. So make sure you guys follow Norquon. Make sure you guys are following each other in the comments here at the Dollhouse. We got some musicians. Liz makes music in the New York area. Extremely beautiful singer, songwriter. Definitely go and check her out. And also check out Norquon's hit single, which is out right now. Put it on. Do you think it's important to have passion for what you're doing and why? That's one question. And what is your power word?
Yes, I feel like you should have a passion in it because you're not going to put as much effort into it. It's if you don't really love it, you won't go but so far with it, you know. And then just like I got a lot of clients, if I didn't love what I did, they wouldn't love me as much as they do. It shows through it when I'm teaching and I'm out there showing them, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I'm smiling because I see the end goal. I tell a lot of my clients, I feel like I believe in you more than you do because I know where you can be. You know, like I said, girl, I believe in you. They be like, oh, you believe in me more than I do. I'm like, I do because I know where you're gonna be. I know where you could be. You know, so I would definitely have a passion for it. It's almost pointless to do some things without having a passion for it. You know, some things I feel like what you want, you're going to get. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like if I have,
He must have got a call, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I did have a car,
All right, there we go. We're back.
but yeah, yeah, if you really want something, you're going to go get it. If it's this pair of shoes you want, you're gonna see if you can hustle up enough to get it because you have a passion to have those shoes on your feet. You know what I mean? Or this dress or that car. You're gonna work your way up to it. It's gonna show too. So yeah, definitely have a passion for what you love or your occupation or career. I would advise.
Passion drives you when your interest is lacking. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the whole truth. Do we have any last questions, any last final thoughts? This is such a great conversation in here, and I hope a lot of you are taking something from this because this can be beneficial and help you along the way with whatever career move you decide to make.
Yeah, career or just life in general.
Oh, yes, your power word. What is your power word?
My power word, everything is always going to be okay. That's my biggest power. And I say that to myself. No matter how far down I might feel, because I may not be, everything is mental. So um, some things that you go through might not even be that bad, but mentally it is. Like I said, we are our own worst critics because it's all in our mind.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is in your mind. So everything is always going to be okay. It's definitely what I usually tell myself.
All right. Fashion dogs, any last minute questions? Again, great conversation.
Oh yeah, another thing. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Happy birthday. And the interview is done right in time. So you guys wish Norquon a very happy birthday.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Perfect interview, perfect timing, just in time. It was such a pleasure having you here. At the end of the day, God's got you like no one else. Yes, absolutely. Always.
He's always there.
Yeah, especially when you least expect him, he's
Hmm.
always there.
Yeah, and that's another thing about fear too. Like I used to fear way more, but now sometimes if I catch myself, I'm like, well, I got God. God, you know what I'm saying? He can do anything. He's my protector, my provider. I mean, what am I worried about? You know? And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we don't think about it. You know, somebody else say it, you like, hey, you right. You know, you gotta stay praising them, keep them in your mind.
Always,
Hmm.
always. They're sending the happy birthdays in the comments. Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated.
Any last minute questions, comments, fashion dolls before we conclude? This was a powerful interview, a great conversation, and I hope you guys are taking something from this really and just listening and taking all of this in, all of this knowledge, all of this encouragement. And people just need something along with it because
Yeah,
we had so much going on throughout this whole entire thing. We lost family members. It's been a lot on all of us. We just need hope. That's the key thing that people need right now. It's hope. People need comfort. And I know a lot of people watching this can take something from this. We're leaning on our own understanding at times. It happens. Absolutely. And you got another happy birthday, Hot Streets Radio.
Hot Streets Radio. Thank you.
Any last minute questions? Any last final words, Fashion Dolls? And let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can come and check out your competition.
Okay, so follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to reach me. It's noient, noient. Then I have my other page as well where I put a lot of my modeling stuff up there, and also a lot of my movies to keep you up to date is Isaiah, Isiah, No Morgan. You can find me there also. And if you want to watch the bodybuilding show, it's natural. Um, no steroids, no type of stuff like that. It's straight from the muscle. You can find that at ocb.com. And it's next Saturday. And that's when the show will be held. It'll probably be held, maybe they'll probably start going live around 8 o'clock. So you go to ocb.com and you can watch the whole bodybuilding show.
All right, Fashion Dolls. And also, please go and check out Halloween Kickback and Deadly Passion. All of these films are out on Tubi TV, starring Nelson Davis, also, who I've had on the show previously. Norquon's birthday is tomorrow, and be sure to go and check out and stream his hit single, Put It On Me, which is out on all streaming platforms right now, Fashion Dolls. Next week, we have some more amazing special guests, but fear not, I will drop the lineup tomorrow. Wait a minute, we got one more question. Which one, fire, wind, earth, water, or why? Great question.
Mm, I would say fire. I'm not big on those so much, but I'm a fire type of guy.
Okay. Passion, going for the instinct, going for the gusto, adventure. And I was about to say the same thing too. I was like, okay, he's about to say the same thing I'm thinking, which is fire.
Yeah,
And it's
my
something about it.
Aries.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it, Fashion Dolls. We have some more amazing guests coming on next week. I have some treats up my sleeve, so you guys just have to stay tuned here on Style by Steve Daytime. Special thanks to everyone for tuning in to this exclusive interview with Norquon Morgan. It was such a pleasure having you here, and I hope you have the best of happiest birthdays ever. And I would love to have you again in the future.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it a lot. I really appreciate you bringing me in. You're very structured, by the way. I feel like it's naturally. I feel like it's naturally you built yourself up to be very, very structured, and that's wonderful. I can see that.
Yeah, I want people to feel comfortable when they come to the dollhouse. Like, just relax and just have a good time. And that's what it's all about. It's genuine here in the dollhouse. So this definitely was one for the book.
Yeah, it was.
All right, Fashion Dolls. This concludes our interview with, I call him the king of R&B, Norquon Morgan. please go and check out his hit single, Put It On Me, which is out right now on all streaming platforms. Check out the Halloween Kickback and other projects on Tubi TV. And I will drop the lineup tomorrow. So be on the lookout for who's coming on the show next week. You're going to be shocked. So stay tuned. We love you all. Take care of you guys. And let me go see this Tony Braxton haircut my mama got. So take care, ladies and gentlemen.